So obviously, after the first post on my Instagram account, I had to reply to a couple of emails, and when I mean a couple, I actually just mean a couple. But when it comes to what's happened lately and transpired over the weekend with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, um, I had to throw my hat or get my 2 cents, whichever cliche that you want. The one thing that I will never understand about sports fans is man worshiping. Um, One thing that you will never see me have is a jersey. I do not have another man's number, nor do I have another man's name ever on my back, ever. Um, and maybe I'm being too analytical. Maybe I'm looking into it a little bit too much, but I will never understand the worshiping of athletes. Um, I have a I have a theory. I've been told my theory is a little harsh, but then again, I've been told a lot of the things that I say are harsh. So let's just go with harsh. A lot of the men that I see who I've met throughout the years who have a very high amount of man worship for an athlete tend to be ones in the experiences that I've had tend to be the ones that couldn't hit a jumper to save their life. Certainly couldn't throw a 15-yard out nor catch one. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it because we tend to be more fascinated um, with things that we can't do ourselves. However, human nature is to fear what we don't understand, and so maybe that's where the disconnect is with me. You'll never see me wearing a jersey. You'll never see another man's name on my back. And yeah, I think it's weird. And so when I say that I can appreciate what Aaron Rodgers is able to do on the football field, um, in this instance, and it's kind of a situation by situation type of a decision approach with me because with certain artists, I can't separate their art from their artist. Michael Jackson, it's hard for me to separate the art from the artist. When I hear his songs now, after everything that we've learned, I tend to just kind of turn them off. They're just not my thing anymore. And I grew up with him. Hell, I grew up with the Jackson Five. Jesus, maybe I'm not any good at this. That's right. Podcast world. I'm coming after the youthful audience with the Jackson Five references. Anyway, um, and so when you're raised with something in ignorance, it's easier to be appreciative of that. And I think that's what it was. Is that we didn't know a lot, and now that we do, I feel that we have to be able to change our minds and our perceptions. And although a lot of people tend to not want to change, and the lack of evolution within people in society, from an overall standpoint, is something that I will never fully understand either. And so when I say that Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback that I've seen on the field, it's because from his physical, how capable he is as just a football player, as accurate as he is as a quarterback, as fast as he is as a runner, as large as he is as a human being. Um, Talent, inch for inch, pound for pound, he's the greatest quarterback that I've ever seen. Now, I've been hearing a lot of people say, hey, if you are anti Kyrie Irving, you need to meet Aaron Rodgers with the same vigor of whatever it is that you were saying, whatever opinion that you have of Kyrie, that would behoove you to have the same approach with Aaron. And to that, I say, hell no, hell no. Look, we can have a long discussion whenever you want. If anybody wants to talk, you can email me, the social spreader at gmail.com. You can reach out to me on Instagram at the social spreader. Um, when it comes to the African American community, when it comes to communities of color, any distrust that they have of this country, whether it be vaccines, whether it be laws, whether it be police, whatever you have, whatever apprehensions that, as I said, the African American community or communities of color have or distrust of this country, it's earned. And I am never going to judge anybody, anybody within the African American community or a community of color for not wanting to get the vaccine. They have zero reason to trust this country. That's just the truth. That's from history. Those are factual things in history of how this country has treated them. Now, when it comes to specifically Kyrie, you can think whatever you want to of his theories. That's your right. Um, if he wants to claim himself as a free thinker and whatnot, okay, that's fine. I'm willing and able to remove whatever vaccine outlook he has because of that. And I don't care if this isn't fair. Aaron Rodgers lied about it. Kyrie never lied about it. He owned it. He owned it the entire time. He's owned it. And I respect that more than I do a liar or someone who completely danced around the subject, because that is there's no I in team, but there's an I in liar. Um, that's just much harder to accept. And as I say this, I'm actually becoming more and more torn about whether or not I can separate the art from the artist anymore with Aaron Rodgers on the field as he is off the field. Um, at the end of the day, before all of this, liked him on Jeopardy. I can't believe he did this to jeopardize his career. Um, but I cannot have the same outlook that I have of him today as I did before last week. Um, Not surprised he got it in Arizona as someone who recently moved out of Arizona. Um, they did a horrible job, to say the least, on controlling COVID. And I believe for a very long time, and I know it's because I was actually putting it on my Instagram story, Arizona was number one in the country for a very good amount of time for how, I'm sorry, for the, I believe it was rate of infection, overall cases, and rate of increase. And so am I not surprised that he goes maskless to an Arizona Halloween party, whether he was there or not? I'm just saying he was there in Arizona for Thursday Night Football, as I was vaccinated in the stands, vaccinated. I feel fine. And for him to lie and for him to tell us this, and the thing that was so interesting is when he came out on the Pat McAfee show, just disappointing to say the very least, because you want to like your athletes. You want to be able to have a very good overall feeling of the athletes that you enjoy. You enjoy watching them play their sport. You admire to a certain extent what they're able to do and how good they are and how talented that they are. And it's disappointing to see that he would choose to do that and choose to really dance around the subject. And not only that, but like not even wear a mask. I believe State Farm has kind of torn up the contract, if you will, with him. I mean, to not even be cognizant. I will always say, the the plague that is selfishness in this country is the reason why the pandemic of coronavirus continues. Um, I've the one thing that has struck me the most in the last 18 months is how selfish people are, how truly selfish so many people are. And for him to do that and to lie and to completely fabricate um, the steps that he took, to not take any steps after that to make sure that he was, because I know Carson Wentz has on a mask. I know Lamar Jackson, I believe he had it, but he also has on a mask. For him to not even wear a mask, to do the one simple thing to protect people, and then you get it. Um, there's a big part of me that wants to give him a big middle finger and just be done with it. But again, hard to explain why we want to feel the same way about our about the athletes we enjoy watching as them as people, because often, and in the instances that I know that I've ran into and actually meet or know, um, to know athletes, a lot of them really aren't that nice sometimes, and they are not the best people. And so, for anybody who is taking shots today at Aaron, how he's treated perhaps the worst franchise in the world, though, how Aaron Rodgers has kind of went about the pandemic and the vaccine and what he said for all those people taking shots. I can't argue with you because it's a very exhibited actions that of a scumbag. So there's a few things on here, few things on the NBA here tonight. So let's do some lines real quick. The matchup of the night to me is Brooklyn Chicago. I see that Joel Embiid has tested positive, so he's not going to be playing for New York and Philly. There was a 6-point swing in that game. Philly opened as a 3-point favorite. They're now a 3-point dog. Um, I those are the ones I tend to stay away. I don't really know. I don't really know. New York Knicks are 6-4, 5-5 against the spread. I don't really know if I trust them yet. They've covered the last 2 out of the last 3 though versus Philly, and so with Tobias Harris out, did I recklessly report that Joel Embiid had COVID or just got put on the COVID list? Let me. ESPN.com source 76ers Embiid test positive for COVID. Never mind. So he's out tonight. I was right. It says rest here on oddshark.com. So Philly's down a good amount, yet they're still on a 6-game winning streak, and they just beat Chicago, and they covered rather handily. So with Joel out, I might just sit that one out. Brooklyn, Chicago, that's going to be a fun game. So generally, one of the rules that I have is that if I want to sit back and actually watch a game and enjoy it, I don't have any action on it. I don't typically watch too many games. Truth be told, I don't watch too many sports. It's um, I guess some people have actually questioned that. So you're telling me that you've been you've been a sports gambler now for years, but you don't watch too much. I'm like, I mean, not really. With a wife and a kid and a life, it's kind of hard to sit down and watch 3 hours of a game. I think anybody at home who's got a wife and kids can probably attest to that challenge. It's often really hard, and me watching and sweating over every dribble out of bounds, every jump ball, every layup that goes in and out. It's just not worth it. Life is pretty stressful without the stress of having to watch these games because you want to win money. I treat it as I do my research, I find the edge I think I find, and I check the scores in the morning. However, if I do want to watch a game because I'm genuinely interested, Brooklyn Chicago sounds pretty damn good to me, and Brooklyn seems pretty healthy. Chicago seems healthy. They lost 2 in a row to Philly. Prior to that, they had won. Wow, they'd won 7 of their last 8. So, and and here comes the Nets on a 5-game winning streak. So this one would certainly be fun. Right now, the spread is it's at Chicago. Chicago at 1.5, 216.5 is the over under. Again, sit back and enjoy. That's something that I would do. Because I still think that Miami is the most fundamental team in the league right now, 7-2 straight up and against the spread. Um, Away from home, they're 3-1 against the spread. They're playing the Nuggets tonight at Denver, and they just beat Utah 2 nights ago. Now there's a stat that when teams play Utah, Denver, elevation, tough road games. I believe 1/3 of the time they win. Now, Miami won 2 nights ago at Utah, which I think is a far superior team. The Nuggets are 5-4, 3-6 against the spread, 3-1 straight up at home, but they're 1-3 against the spread. As an underdog, they're 2-2, and again, as long as Miami has everyone, and they do, um, Michael Porter Jr. has just been reported out for the Nuggets tonight. Keep riding the Heat. When they're hot, and they're 7-2 against the spread. I think that's a good lean right there. I think the Heat for tonight. I think that's a good lean. I also want to take a look at New Orleans and Dallas. So the Pelicans are 1-9, but they're 4-6 against the spread. The Mavericks are 6-3, but they're 2-7 against the spread. They average the exact same amount on offense, and the last three it hasn't been. Mavericks have covered 2 out of the last three. Currently this year against the spread at home, they're 1-4. Ugh, this is a stay away. New Orleans is 1-4 straight up. I'm sorry, against the spread their last five. Mavericks are 1-6 against the spread their last seven. Yuck. Toilet bowl. Speaking of toilet bowl, Minnesota and Memphis. Let's take a look at what this one's got to offer. I actually might like Memphis here. Wolves are 2-6 against the spread, 3-5 straight up. Memphis is 5-4 straight up, 6-3 against the spread. Last three times these two teams have played, Memphis has owned them. 125, 115. Right now the spread is Memphis at 5. Oof. Ooh, okay. Okay. 3-1 straight up at home. Interesting. Minnesota's only played one game on the road this year. They're 1-6 against the spread in their last 7. You know what? I think Memphis is a good lean. I see Russell for the Timberwolves is questionable. Memphis just got crushed by Washington. So I have a theory that when a professional team, when they go out and they get blown out, they tend to rebound. No basketball pun intended. They tend to rebound pretty well. Same thing in football. If a team, especially on prime time, goes and just gets taken to the shed, and is that one of the best cliches? I know there's taken to the cleaners. They take them behind the woodshed, but then can you just take a team to the woodshed? Do you have to go behind? Like if it's cold outside, don't you want to be inside? Anyway, they tend to respond well, and Memphis just got blown out. Minnesota's lost 2 straight. I'm sorry, they've lost. Whoa, sorry, they've lost 5 of their last 6. Um, and they got the last. Wow, they lost 2 in a row to the Clippers, and then before that they got blown out by Orlando. I think Memphis at 5 is a good lean. I'm a little curious why the number isn't larger. Um, wow, huh? Wolves are 1-6. I'm sorry, 2-6 against the spread. Memphis is 6-3. This is one of those times I get the feeling that someone knows something that I don't. I would have put Memphis around 8 or 9. Um, wow. Okay. Well, I still think they're a good lean at 5. So I like Miami on the road. I like Memphis at home. Um, Atlanta Golden State would be fun to watch too tonight. Um, also, I don't know if you guys have heard, Golden State first quarter has been very lucrative. Atlanta's beaten them the last 3 times, and they've covered every time. Wow. Um, wow. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Never mind. This would be a stay away for me. And I don't want to lay anything with Phoenix or Sacramento. I don't know much. I think good place tonight would be Memphis at home versus the Wolves at 5, and Miami's right around 1 point. If you can get it down to like a pick 'em, then that'd be better. So, hope you enjoyed the show here on Monday. And if you do have any action tonight, good luck with your bets.